Thailand spent $30 billion designing the ultimate shortcut for global shipping, a land bridge that would bypass the Strait of Malacca and challenge Singapore's grip on world trade. The shipping giants took one look at it and said no. Thailand's southern peninsula is a long, skinny strip of land like a thumb hanging down between the Gulf of Thailand on one side and the Andaman Sea on the other. The project route between those two coastlines running between the provinces of Chumphon and Ranong covers only about 90 kilometers of land. That's less than the distance from London to Oxford. Now compare that to the alternative, the current shipping route that goes all the way around, through the Strait of Malacca, past Singapore, and loops back up. That detour adds roughly 1,200 kilometers to a journey. So Thailand's proposal was almost elegant in its simplicity. Build 2 deep-water ports, one on each coast. Connect them with a 90-kilometer railway and highway corridor. And suddenly, instead of ships going the long way around, cargo gets unloaded on one side, transported across land, and reloaded on the other. The project is called the Southern Economic Corridor Land Bridge, and the Thai government officially unveiled it to the world in 2023. The price tag? 28 to 30 billion US dollars. The promise? Cutting shipping times by up to 4 days, creating 280,000 jobs, turning 2 sleepy southern provinces, Ranong and Chumphon, into the next great trade hubs of Asia. Thai Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin personally flew to the World Economic Forum in Davos to pitch this project. He stood in front of some of the most powerful business leaders on earth and hosted a dedicated event, Thailand Land Bridge, connecting ASEAN with the world. And for a brief moment, the world was genuinely curious. Picture this. Every year, roughly 94,000 vessels transit the Strait of Malacca. That's about 258 ships a day, packed into a corridor thinner than most rivers. It carries oil from the Middle East to China, Japan, and South Korea. Manufactured goods from China to Europe. It carries food, raw materials, electronics, the physical stuff that keeps modern economies alive. At its narrowest, the Phillips Channel near Singapore ships have less than 3 kilometers of navigable water. And these aren't small boats. These are ships longer than 4 football fields, carrying thousands of steel containers stacked like skyscrapers. If that strait ever closed because of conflict, a blockade, a massive accident, or even a coordinated piracy campaign, the global economy would feel it within days. And nobody knows this more painfully than China. China sends 80% of its imported oil through the Malacca Strait. Former Chinese President Hu Jintao actually gave this vulnerability a name back in 2003. He called it the Malacca Dilemma. The fear is simple. If relations between China and the United States ever reached a boiling point, the US Navy, which operates heavily in the region, could theoretically control that strait. China's oil supply, manufacturing fuel, economic engine, all of it, are suddenly at risk. So for decades, China has been quietly searching for alternatives. And when Thailand announced its land bridge, Beijing paid very close attention. Here was a potential bypass, a route that avoided the strait entirely, a solution to the Malacca Dilemma. When Thailand unveiled its land bridge, there was one city-state watching very carefully: Singapore. Let's be honest, Thailand's project was essentially a direct challenge to Singapore's entire economic identity. Singapore is one of the busiest ports on Earth. It handles more than 40 million container units a year. It sits at the southern tip of the Malacca Strait like a gatekeeper, and its entire modern economy was built around that position. If Thailand's land bridge worked, if shipping companies started routing cargo across southern Thailand instead of down through Singapore, the city-state's advantage disappears almost overnight. So what did Singapore do? Simple. It builds. Singapore is currently constructing the Tuas Mega Port, the largest single container terminal ever built in human history. When complete in the 2040s, it will handle 65 million containers a year, nearly double what Singapore moves today. The Tuas Mega Port is almost fully automated. Ships will be loaded and unloaded by AI-driven cranes and driverless vehicles, operating around the clock with almost zero human intervention. It will cut the time a ship spends in port dramatically. Here's the quiet message Singapore sent to every shipping executive on the planet. You can take the long way around through a brand new, unproven land bridge, or you can dock at the most efficient port ever built, exactly where you've always docked. And when the shipping companies compared those two options, the choice was obvious. China should be the obvious backer here. The land bridge solves the Malacca Dilemma, fits perfectly into the Belt and Road Initiative, and secures Beijing's oil supply. Yet China has gone quiet on this project. Why? First, China already has other bets on the table. The China-Laos Railway, completed in 2021, already moves goods from southern China through Laos down into Thailand. China is negotiating extensions that would push that rail network all the way to Malaysia and Singapore. So in a sense, China is building its own bypass, just a different one. Second, geopolitics are complicated. Thailand is not officially part of China's Belt and Road Initiative in the same way that Pakistan or Sri Lanka are. Getting deeply involved in financing a $30 billion project in Thailand means entering a politically delicate relationship, especially while Thailand navigates its own balancing act between Washington and Beijing. Third, China ran the numbers and doesn't like what it saw. Their own feasibility studies showed the land bridge simply can't compete with the Malacca route for most cargo types. So Beijing is doing what it always does, watching, waiting, and letting someone else take the risk first. For Thailand, that's a serious problem. Without Chinese money, this project is nearly impossible to finance. The entire business case for the land bridge depends on one thing: shipping companies actually using it. Thailand pitched this project everywhere: Tokyo, Davos, Beijing. Over 100 companies showed up. Small logistics players were curious. Dubai's port operators flew out to survey the sites. But the big shipping carriers? The ones who actually move the world's cargo? Not one committed. When a massive container ship carrying maybe 20,000 containers arrives at a port, unloading all of that cargo, trucking or railing it 90 kilometers, and reloading it onto another ship on the other side takes time and money. A lot of both. Every transfer risks damaged cargo and lost time. And time is money in shipping. Yes, the Malacca route is 1,200 kilometers longer, but modern megaships eat that distance for breakfast. The land bridge, on the other hand, charges $653 per vessel just in handling fees. The Malacca Strait charges nothing. The math doesn't work. And until Thailand can lower costs, guarantee speed, and promise enough cargo volume, it won't. Classic chicken and egg. Shippers won't come without proof. The proof can't exist without shippers. And investors won't touch it without both. And if geopolitics and shipping economics weren't enough, there's one more obstacle that no one budgeted for: the people who live there. Southern Thailand is home to dense tropical forests, fishing communities that have existed for centuries, and ecosystems that support both local livelihoods and biodiversity. The two provinces where the land bridge would be built, Ranong and Chumphon, have seen significant local opposition. Fishing communities worry that megaports will destroy their access to coastal waters. Environmental groups have raised alarms about deforestation along the corridor route. In Ranong, locals are demanding environmental impact studies the government has not delivered. In early 2024, protesters traveled to Bangkok to demonstrate outside foreign embassies over the project. For international investors with ESG commitments, that's a red flag they can't ignore. And with major investment roadshows still ahead, those protest images following Thailand into the meeting room could kill deals before they even start. Thailand has a bold, ambitious, genuinely interesting idea. A project that could, in theory, redraw the economic map of Southeast Asia. But it's being squeezed from every direction. Singapore is racing ahead with a port so advanced, it makes the land bridge look uncertain by comparison. China is interested but non-committal, playing the long game as it always does. The shipping giants have run the numbers and aren't convinced. And on the ground, the communities whose land this would cross are pushing back harder than anyone anticipated. Thailand's government did not give up. They're still pitching, planning, and insisting this project will happen. But one question nobody in Bangkok wants to answer: is this project being built because the world needs it, or because Thailand needs to prove something? Because at $30 billion, that difference matters. Right now, everyone is watching: shippers, investors, governments, and the answer isn't clear yet. But here's what is clear. One geopolitical flashpoint, one crisis in the wrong place at the wrong time, could make the Malacca Strait too dangerous to use. And on that day, Thailand's land bridge stops looking like a gamble and starts looking like a genius. If you want to understand the full picture, why this land bridge could still change everything, and what it would actually take to make it work, I broke it all down in my next video. Thailand's land bridge, the infrastructure that could bypass the Strait of Malacca. The link is right there on your screen. Go watch it now.